About 4 years ago, I noticed that Juan was having a tough time, that he wasn't happy, he was not happy at school, and there was nothing that was interesting to him and that will make him happy. His grades were C's and D's, and he had an IB, so I went to the school. I asked his teachers why, if he is an IB, are his grades so bad, and they told me that they could be worse. In December, Juan ran away from home. On the way from school to home, he decided not to come home because he asked one of his teachers for extra schoolwork so that he can try and fix his grades. And he said, why do you want extra schoolwork when you know that anyway you're going to be a loser, a bum? That's the word that he used, a loser, a bum. When he came back a few hours later, I asked, Papi, where were you? And he said, I needed to think because I didn't knew what I wanted to do. Sometime later, they called me from school to tell me that Juan had expressed that he didn't want to live and that he wanted to die. I took him to the doctor and they told me that yes, he was depressed, but at that time he was in no danger to him or to others, and that I should seek therapy for him. I went back to school, I talked to the counselor, and she gave me a list of providers. I started contacting the providers on the list, and I was put on multiple waiting lists. He didn't got any counseling at school. He didn't got any help from the school. Sometimes later they call me and they say that he had made some claims. I needed to go with him the next morning to school. After I got to school, Juan got arrested about the claim that he had made before. A court, through his attorney, we got in contact with Erin and the law project.
I met Wendy and Juan a few years ago when his court-appointed delinquency attorney called the Ed Law Project. Juan ended up in court after some issues in school, and his attorney wanted to help him resolve those issues and get the supports he needed in school. Once his attorney and I started talking, we realized that the case was more complicated, and the Ed Law Project decided to directly represent him.
That's when we learned that his IP wasn't correct written, that his diagnosis was not in his IP, and that he wasn't getting the help.
I worked with Wendy and Juan on the school issues to try to address his IEP and some discipline issues, and I also attended every court date with the family. At those court dates, I spoke with the judge and informed him on the things that I was doing to help resolve the issues in school and our progress. The judge was very interested in hearing about that, given how the case started, and it ultimately helped Juan get a more positive outcome in juvenile court.
He decided to get a neuropsych, and the diagnosis for the neuropsych was that Juan had severe major depression with anxiety attacks, and that he should be in a smaller environment. He could receive the therapy and help that he needed, that a regular classroom couldn't provide for him. I know that me by myself, we couldn't have gotten the help that he have gotten. We tried. I went a lot of time to school to ask for help. I never got any help. One never got one time counselor at school. Never.
We worked really hard to get Juan more services on his IEP and get him into a school that provided him the supports he needed. He is currently still in that school today and is doing great and thriving.
He is happy right now. He's very happy. He wake up. He's happy to go to school. He's waking up by himself. Last year he wanted to do coding. He wanted to do anything computer related, and I supported him, you know, if that's what you want to do. He said that he wanted a computer so that he can put it together and he can do his coding. He was making video games, and we bought him the computer. This year he wants to do marketing, and I'm happy with that. If he wants to do marketing, I will support him. If he told me tomorrow that he wants to be a chef, I will support him. If he wants to do something, we will support him, because that show me that he had planned for the future. That makes me happy. He's happy, I'm happy.
He is a different kid from when I met him a few years ago and is really happy, loves going to school, and has a really bright future.
I have said to Erin so many times, you know, when Juan gets to be someone, a part of that belongs to you. And I mean it, because it is true.